So, what's up, guys? I'm gonna show you how to use Fant Mod stuff. So Fant 00, so it's Fant 00 on in Scrap Mechanic. I'm gonna show you guys how to use the unit facer, and then in another video I'll be showing you guys how to set up the tracks because it took me a little bit to figure it out, and it's not super clear on how to do it. So you're gonna need a block material of whatever you like. I'm just gonna use metal 1 for now. I'm gonna use a spud gun, but you can use this facer to do whatever you want. You're gonna need switches. I'm just in creative mode real quick, and then I will show you a use case. Uh, for this, I'll show you an example use case on my personal save. So first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna build yourself. We're gonna build a base just for the sake of sanctity of just knowing what we're gonna need to do. I'm gonna make it wide just to deal with the recoil. You can mount this to whatever you want. It's very simple. So all you got to do is I'm going to place a block there just so we have a little bit of height. So you're going to need 2 bearings, right? You need 1 bearing there, and you're not going to color that. So the way Fance works is goes based on color, so it understands the axes or the directions that the difference is. So the way that it basically the best way to explain it is um, the bearings need to be differentiated, and Fance can't really like the Fance core coding can't really understand the difference between one bearing or the other connection. So if one bearing is white or a different color than the other bearing, it then understands it. And that applies to most of Fant stuff. It'll understand it. So this bearing is going to be whatever color is basically blank. Place your block. I'm going to give it a, and then you can place, you can do as much as you want. So like you can go as high as you want or as low as you want. Just know that this is going to pivot now. This whole piece is going to pivot. We'll go a little higher, and you're going to place a bearing for your vertical up and down axes. Now, you want to paint this a different color. I like white. So then you can take your block and you can, oh, there's one more piece you need. I forgot to make for the gun portion. If you want to use guns, you will need a laser block, but you can use this setup for just about anything. So then you take your facer unit and you'll see it has an eyelid. You'll see that eyelid there, right? It has like an eyelid. Looks like a traffic signal, right? So you want that traffic signal eyelid pointing up. And that's okay that it dangles. It'll adjust. Now, you also need a battery box. And this can be anywhere on the creation. Whether it's over, whether it's like on the other side of your base, or you just have to be able to, it has to be attached, physically welded attached. Connect your facer to the battery box. Here's the key portion. Connect your facer to the horizontal bearing first. Then connect your facer to the colored bearing second. So, sorry about that. My 2-year-old decided to interrupt. You're gonna need a switch. Alrighty, this is your switch. So you can place this anywhere, really. I'm just gonna put it over here by the battery box. Okay. So connect your FACER to the switch. Now this switch is important. You can color the switch. There's different modes. So, as it currently stands, as you can see, the FACER is doing nothing. But if I switch this to white, and I flip this, oh, and I got to put batteries in it. Make sure you put batteries in it, because, you know, right? If I switch this to white, you should watch that FACER snap to me. See how it's backwards? That is because the bearing, the vertical bearing is wrong. When I switch this, see how it's staring at me? I will always have that eyelid pointing up. All right. So that's how you use the FACER unit. Now, how can you apply this? If you have the plant growing sensor mod, there's a bit of a bug going on with it right now, so I don't have it. But I don't have it enabled because it doesn't quite allow me to do certain things. But you can use it to water plants. It'll detect, this FACER unit has many different settings based on the color of the switch activated, and you can have several switches connected to it at once. So for example, if we do 5 switches, right? We do and we make this one, let's make this one purple. Make this one pink. Make this one, we'll leave it the way it is for now, and we'll leave this one. So if I do purple, oh, it needs a seat, that's right. In order to do the purple and pink, you need a seat. Any seat will do. And you need it to be connected to the seat. Alrighty. So now sometimes you have to reset it, but the idea is purple, when you reset it and it's doing it correctly, and I'll show you an example of this. Purple will get it to lock to your aim direction. Pink gets it to lock to where your aim position is. So if I point to that corner, it'll lock onto that corner. If I point to that corner, it'll lock to that corner. If I point to over there, it'll look at the exact spot my cursor is sitting. Not the direction, just the spot. Sorry about that. So if we come in here now, so the FACER can operate through a sensor. Why did you break? Why did you break? Why did you break? What happened here? I wonder if I broke the system real quick. So I'll just delete the FACER for now. Fant is not the perfect solution to the problem. It does not always work perfectly. There. If I take a laser, you'll notice it will still track through blocks. The laser will not. So keep that in mind. Alrighty. What you can do is you can do something along the lines of, I'm going to turn this off real quick while I to make it fire things. Say you want an auto turret. Keep in mind the relation between the laser and the spud gun has some effects. So, for example, if it's on top and they're close range, it will miss and fly above their heads. If it's to the side and they're close range, it will fly to the side of them. If it's underneath, it will hit the ground early. I find the best method is to use more than one. So then they have to be exactly one block size in order for the spud to miss, which is perfect. I do one on the bottom, one on the side, one on the top. That's usually what I do. And I usually use pipes instead of blocks only because less collision. But that's preference. I will show you a real world scenario here. I've been working on with a friend of mine. So what you need to do now is you need an ammo can. And I'm going to give you, if you don't already know how to do it, I'm going to give you a lesson on how to make a timer and get it to interface with a gun. Okay? So you need two logic gates, a switch for the timer, or for the clock, and a third logic gate. So this logic gate is going to be a NAND. One of these is going to be a NAND, and one of these is going to be an OR. What you'll do is you'll put the OR to the switch to the NAND, NAND to the OR, and it will pulse. Take your second NAND, your input NAND, put it to the OR switch. It's to the NAND switch. Nope, I was right. It was the OR switch. And you connect your switch to the NAND. See how the system stops? And you connect your laser to the NAND. Alrighty? That stops the system. Now you connect your spud gun to the OR gate. You could connect your spud gun to the NAND gate, like you drag from the NAND gate to there. You could do that in this instance. And this circuit gets used a lot. If you want to make wigwag pulsing police lights, that's how you do it. And then there's a little bit of more logic needed to make the alternating pulse. But I can do a video on that if you guys want at some point or another. You just let me know and I will make a video on that. Then you connect your ammo can to your spud gun. That's all you need. Lastly, we need to connect the sensor to the box there, see? Because I guess it got deleted. But you need, so in concept, you need from the FACER, you need a connection to a battery box. It has to be a battery box. Doesn't need to be an engine, just a battery box. Then you do horizontal first. Then you connect the vertical bearing first, or second. And the vertical bearing has to be the painted one. It has to be painted. I prefer white. Then you add a switch. The color of the switch determines the targeting protocol. And you can have multiple switches, and it'll switch to whatever color was last switched. And for safe measure, I just turn off the switch I'm using when I have multiple targeting, turn off the switch that I'm actively going to target, and turn on the switch I want to target now when I'm changing protocol. An example of this, turn this on. So you can come in. As long as I'm in that laser. But the moment I back out of the laser, you can set it to the external range of the spud gun. There we go. So you can use that as an auto turret. And if you have it default colored, it will track bots. For example, for example, I need a hammer because I did not get one. Alrighty. As you saw there. So, and that's the only caveat is it will still, as you can see, it will still 100% trigger when you walk through it. But if you have the switch off, now you can adjust the FACER's tracking distance. I usually set it to about 200 to 250, roughly in there. And then I set the laser to just at 250, maybe a little past, right? And that means that if there is a bot, if I place a whole bunch of bots here, and I smash the crap out of them. See, it is targeting them now. But it will only target them for as long as their laser is active. As long as the laser is there. That is how you use the FACER mod. And the laser, inherently enough, ironically enough. Now you can set it to a creation. And you can have it operate with the seat set switch to the seat. And if you're in the seat and you switch to the seat, it'll go based on your location. You'll be the quote unquote owner of it. It's a bit finicky, that portion of it. It's not perfect. He is working on it. But that is the best feature the most used feature you're going to have for it. Okay, so here is a real world example and a save I've been working on with a friend of mine. Some more real world examples of using the FACER mod. So, for example, I'm going to remove said spuds. If I switch it to white, this is our farm defense. I will show you how effective that actually is. As you can see, I was talking about how I have 4 spud guns, and that's only because the haybot takes 4 spuds to kill it. So I figured it'll at least be able to one-tap haybots. Another example is this. It's a vehicle creation I have built. Okay. I will turn off that switch for now because it drives me nuts when it hits me. So right now it's not going to track me because I don't have I have a dead man switch inside for tracking me. Alrighty, so I'm going to track me. Oh, it's not tracking me because I am not in it. Or is the battery dead on it? No, it has battery. It has fuel. So this is a use case of the tracks, okay? Let me turn the switch the off to that. So this is a preview of the tracks being used. So right now it is set to track bots. All right, right now it's set to off, as you'll see. But if I set it to 2, it tracks bots. And I can set it, I've got a button so I can left click and fire. Or you can set it up like I showed you with the auto firing. I set it on a second switch. And if you guys want, I can show you that at some point in a future video. A second switch that will make it so that you can switch it, toggle auto fire on or off. So right now it's just auto track and fire, basically. Auto track, and then I have to physically fire it. But let me lock in to somebody. Here we go. There we go. So as you will see, I can track here. Alrighty. And if I press 7, it'll auto fire. Once they cross that laser, they will auto fire. The laser will detect the bot. Now the laser does not operate through blocks, so you have to have that on the end in an opening. And now the laser is important because that is what will trip the sensor. See, it's tracking that bot. But you get the idea behind that, and I can show you guys how to get the tank steering working. It is a bit finicky. I don't, it is a bit finicky. It is a bit tricky. There are certain caveats, just like with most of Fant stuff, there are certain caveats. You have to do things a very specific way, or it won't work at all. Now, this is also in, I might point out, this is in 1.0, the Seeker bot. That's that big floating thing with the red. If you have not encountered it, you will at some point. His missiles are nasty, but this tank, Metal Block 1, seems to, a little bit of advice, Metal Block 1 seems to be able to tank the shots from him. I'll lose a block. When it hits me, I lose a single block and it burns whatever, so I had pipe for my hinge, for my gun barrel, and well, my gun barrel fell off. So another example of, alrighty, is there are guns in here. If I flip this switch, I've got it set where the guns pop out. Now you'll notice there were no lasers because the lasers are blocked by whatever block they're pointing at. So let me see if I can show you guys a perfect example, a final test before I cannot. But I will smash some of these out real quick so I can replant them because I have lots of spuds for you guys to see. Right there. So it's literally just the same build that we've done before. Just do a quick little level 1 raid, nothing crazy. So we've done up to almost a level 3 where they face farm bots. They send farm bots at us, and most things don't even step off their dropship. Even the farm bots included, they don't really step off their dropship. So I will give you a perfect example of that. I'm working on a watering system as we speak. This is why I'm trying to work on getting a working-ish watering system. It's not working great. I will get to that when he fixes it, but I'm primed and ready. It's, again, simple. You can replace the spud gun with a watering gun and a couple of other features, and you can get it to water. Just he broke the mod. When he did an update, he hasn't fixed it yet, which is fine. So I, as an added measure, built saws. See? That works great. Now, they've just now started dropping here. So we're going to fix that. Eventually, I'm going to have to address that. But they didn't really make it very far. They got 1, 2 farm plots out of it. And generally, when there's a lot of them, they don't spawn here. Plus, I usually have the tank farther back, blocking this off. But that's the gist of it. So that's how you use Fant Mod's FACER. Feel free to... Oh. Well, that's annoying. I'll have to fix that. So feel free to leave a comment mentioning if you want me to show you in depth on how to use the lasers or how to use the tracks. I'll do a video on how to do the tracks in the future. Feel free to like and subscribe for more content. If you want to see me try to help you explain a mod that you're struggling with, feel free to mention in the comments and I will happily try to help you out.